I want to paint you a picture. It's graduation season for a lot of parents, and one of my clients, we'll call her Jill, came to me with this story. She had planned everything to the finest detail. The food, the way everything was decorated, the timing, and it was like she was planning a wedding. I loved her attention to detail because engineered. She read the room all evening long. Who was uncomfortable? Who needed drawing out? Who needed an exit? All the things she managed invisibly. And the next morning, she couldn't get out of bed. Not dramatically, just a bone-deep depletion that sat in her shoulders and somewhere behind her eyes, brewing a headache. And she told herself it was the late night, it was the wine, it was the heat. This episode is about what is actually happening here. Hi, I'm Amanda Smith, host of this lovely podcast, The Cosmic Body Shenanigans. I'm a former aerospace and mechanical engineer who worked on NASA's Artemis program, among other NASA projects, turned grounded mystic nervous system translator for sensitive bodies. This is a story I have played out so many times, and telling you guys about it from my client's perspective is cathartic for me. So here's the cost of what's going on in this situation. Her body started thinking about this party months in advance, right? When you have a kid graduating from high school, it's a big deal. And hosting a party for them is an honor because you're proud. So that kicks it off. And then the mom stuff comes up, like, oh my gosh, my kids, I'm done with this phase. And the grief sets in, and it becomes this roller coaster ride between I'm so proud and I'm so excited for them and I'm excited for their future, and oh my gosh, I'm grieving that it's over. My kid's potentially not going to live in my house any longer, going to go off to college maybe, or off to their career or a relationship or all of those things. And that kicks off this roller coaster ride. And then comes the planning and who you're inviting and how those people are going to show up. And for a sensitive person, we're tracking all the little details. And we make it look effortless. And it's not. It takes a huge toll on our body, and it takes several days of recovery. That's what this is about. And the fact that as sensitive people, we do like to explain it away. It was the late night, it was the wine, it was the heat. But if you look back, you can track how many times this has happened to you in the exact same way. It doesn't matter if it was your kid's graduation party or you simply had neighbors over for dinner. This is the pattern that happens. We call this pattern the Mother Imprint pattern here at Body Whisper Healing. And the physical symptoms are pretty specific to tight shoulders, tight jaw, stiff neck, maybe some low-grade dread in the gut. And this starts beforehand. This starts on Friday. As you're brewing through, do I have everything ready? Because the party's on Saturday. And everything is lined up, and I'm running around the house trying to get stuff ready, right? And Jill, my client in this scenario, she specifically brought up, like, I completely forgot to go pick up the balloons, and we had decorations laid out, but they weren't up on the walls. And it was this poor mom. She was grinding through it. And she wasn't asking for help. So by Sunday night, the party happened on Saturday. She was on top of all the people, making sure that they felt received and they felt welcome and they had everything that they needed. And she was managing how they were interacting with other people or not interacting with other people. And she was helping to help the relationship stuff go on. And mm-hmm, mm-hmm. On Sunday morning, she doesn't get out of bed. And the party needs to be picked up because it did go late into the night. And the house is kind of a disaster. All of the decorations are still up. She knows, I need to get out of bed and I need to go take care of this. But she is unbelievably depleted at this point and is struggling to get out of bed. And it's nothing dramatic, nothing like, oh, pay attention to me. I feel awful here. Ooh, I have a hangover. Not it. That wasn't what was going on. What was going on was the erosion of this sensitive person's capacity to receive, to rest, and to be witnessed. And the big one, to ask for help without apologizing for it. This mother imprint pattern isn't the holding itself. It's that the holding has to look effortless. She runs this pattern and becomes extraordinarily good at making it invisible. The gathering that she hosted looked seamless. The coordination looks natural. The reading of the room, the anticipating of needs, the managing of the dynamics, none of it appeared to cost her a thing. Because the cost was being routed somewhere else, somewhere it didn't show in the moment. It was being routed into her body. And that body first performs concealment and then crashes. Her shoulders have been bracing for years because she's been carrying the load for years, because she's not been asking for help for years. The jaw has been tight since she started thinking about the fact that her kid is graduating. And her gut started running the dread calculation Friday night as she was decorating. And that didn't stop until Sunday because she was still dreading taking things down without any energy. The sleep, the sleep was never fully deep because some part of her nervous system was on high alert still. This is the invoice the body generates all summer. This happens to sensitive people when we have gatherings to go to, concerts to go to, outdoor movies to go watch, graduation parties to attend. And here's the thing, for a sensitive person who's been running the mother imprint pattern, this has been going on for decades. It's not just this particular party in this one summer instance. Think back. If you've been nodding your head to this and you understand, oh, okay, yeah. Think back to parties that you've gone to, parties that you've hosted, and you've come back completely depleted and then went, oh, it was because of the wine. Oh, it was because we were out later than normal. But it's showing up in your shoulders and your neck. You woke up and had that crick in your neck, that, adult sleeping injury thing that we get. That's part of this holding. For her, the body couldn't exhale for 3 full days and then some. The jaw was holding everything that was unsaid. The shoulders had been bracing against every social variable. And when the performance ends and the house is finally quiet, the body begins its own reckoning. For most sensitive people, the reckoning happens alone. The person who held everything together has no container for their own depletion. There's no one asking, how are you? There's no space built for her to put it down. So she finally puts it down on Tuesday and then picks it up again on Thursday and calls the cycle normal. That's what's happening here. This isn't normal. This is the Mother Imprint pattern running at full cost. Here's the asking problem. And this is unbelievably typical of the Mother Imprint pattern. There's a specific way the holding pattern reshapes a sensitive person over time that doesn't get talked about enough. And it makes them stop asking. Not because they don't need help or there's nobody to ask. That's not the problem. The pattern itself demands self-sufficiency. Asking would make the cost visible. Asking would require a person who needs something instead of a person who provides it. Somewhere around puberty, when that pattern locked in, sensitive people often made a quiet, unconscious decision. I'll be the one who manages. I'll be the one who doesn't need to ask. I don't want to bother the other people who are already burdened. The body ends up asking on their behalf, though, in the only language it can, in the symptoms that show up: the tightness in the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, and the gut. And those are very specific and they're very intelligent requests from your body. It's not a complaint or a breakdown, but an actual way your body is communicating. The body's saying, this is too much. I can't keep doing this alone. Something needs to change. So poor Jill. I see it in this pattern because I know Jill has the Mother Imprint pattern. Others might see it a different way. Our Western medicine will say, oh, yeah, it might have been that wine. It could have been that you're not getting good sleep. Instead of going a little deeper, having a deeper conversation. And unfortunately, in Western medicine, we don't have that opportunity to have deep discussions with doctors. They don't have that kind of time. They have too many patients to see. So the physical symptoms are the visible part of what chronic holding costs. Beneath them, something is happening in the nervous system. The nervous system has been modified to alert you for years. It's scanning, it's managing, it's anticipating, and then loses some of its capacity to register safety. So it doesn't fully exhale or experience rest as genuinely restful. You wake up tired. You just slept, but you wake up tired. Sensitive people who have been running the holding pattern for a really long time often describe a particular kind of fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, and vigilance doesn't fully switch off. There's often a difficulty being present in quiet moments because the nervous system is still waiting for something to manage. I want to say that one again because when I wrote that down, I was like, oh, yeah. Difficulty being present in quiet moments, like having a hard time meditating, because the nervous system is still waiting for something to manage. This is how allostatic load appears in a sensitive body. It's not a dramatic breakdown, but rather a slow accumulation. The body pays and pays and pays in the only currency it has. If what I've been describing is landing in your body right now, if you're nodding along and you feel the specific places that the pattern lives in your body, I want to make a clear, honest invitation. The release retreat is where to do this work, releasing this pattern. Not talking about it, not understanding it more thoroughly, actually addressing it at the level where it lives. The card is open now. The landing page exists in the show notes, and the cart closes July 8th. This is the right time if you've been nodding along. So here's what happens when the pattern shifts. Sensitive people I've worked with have addressed the Mother Imprint pattern at its source. They describe it a particular kind of relief that's different from anything they expected. They don't transform into someone who no longer feels things deeply. Addressing the mother imprint pattern isn't a cure by a shift. They'll ask for help and not immediately minimize the request. They'll notice it when they wake up. Their shoulders aren't already braced. Their jaw isn't already tight, and they can feel it at the TMJ. They attend gatherings where they don't have to manage everything. They can just be there. Watching that happen to someone real time, it is the most beautiful thing ever. The body's intelligence doesn't disappear when the holding pattern shifts. It gets directed somewhere it was always meant to go, toward the sensitive person's own experience, not just everyone else's. Jill and I are working on her ability to recognize the pattern in the moment. Recognize when she's holding space and not honoring what her body needs. And when she has had those aha moments, I get little messages from her that say things like, holy cow, as soon as I recognized it, my shoulders dropped. I could breathe a little bit deeper, and I recognized I needed blah, blah, blah. I recognized I needed to have more water. I recognized that I actually needed to eat. I recognized that everybody was doing just fine without me, and that was totally okay. Those are some of the things that she recognized. And it is such a gift to watch people unfold the mother imprint pattern, because the pattern is deep. The pattern has been running since you were a kid, since you were right around puberty age. Could have been just before, could have been just after. And, you know, it's funny, I call this the mother imprint pattern, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your mother imprinted this on you. It could be generations of that pattern in your family. It could have been that you just made that conscious decision or unconscious decision that I'm not going to be a burden to other people. I'm going to be helpful. If you're an Enneagram number 2, the helper, you were born this way. And there's an unwinding. That's what we do at the release retreat. We unwind it. We give you opportunities in a group at a 4-day long event to see the pattern and to potentially make one small change, maybe more. That's what the release retreat is for. And again, if you're nodding along, now's the time. The card is closing very soon. And I don't want you to miss this, because I don't know if I will do this particular retreat again. So join us. There is a group of just women right now attending. It would be cool to have some men come. But men, if you do decide you're coming to this one, lean into your feminine side, because we will be addressing it from that angle. We're doing the work. And when you leave this retreat, my hope is that the shoulders relax, the pattern keeps getting seen, and your body starts to release the pattern. If this is calling to you, again, go to the show notes. And if this isn't calling to you, but you're recognizing that some of these things are in your body and you're going, is this the mother imprint pattern? Let's get on a body scan. That 20-minute call, I will give you your map. And it might just be that the mother imprint pattern is part of that map. And if neither the retreat or the body scan feel right to you quite yet, that's totally fine. If this episode landed for you, though, take note of that and come back and listen to another one by subscribing so that you know when the next one is being released, which is usually every Monday. If you know someone in your life who has this pattern, this mother imprint pattern. Share it with them. You don't have to tell them, oh, I think you have the mother imprint pattern. But, let them know, like, didn't you mention that your jaw hurt the other day? I wonder if that's a pattern in your life. I listened to this really cool episode from Cosmic Body Shenanigans. And then send her the episode or him. Until next time, stay curious, stay oriented, move with what's real, and trust your sensitive body. It knows.